Actor from the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication from SRMIST. So, we are going to speak about the theories of communication. First of all, let's try to understand what communication is all about. The whole purpose of communication is to understand each other. So, media has taken a stand in providing communication with the optimum capacity. There is a lot of theories which suggest how a media should communicate. Since World War II, several studies have been conducted in the field of communication. Most of the studies are based on how the human society has used communication as a tool in providing a change for the society. One of the earliest studies in this category is hypodermic needle theory or magic bullet theory. Hypodermic needle theory simply suggests how media can be so powerful that it can penetrate a skull of a person like a needle. The same is also told how a bullet can penetrate a person's head. Like a bullet, the whole theory suggests communication is so strong and powerful that it can create such a powerful impact on the audience. There's two more theories called two-step flow theory and gatekeeping theory. The two-step flow theory suggests communication is actually a process. First, the communication is received by a elite group of people, and through them it is disseminated to other people. Whereas, while we talk about the gatekeeping theory, it says what is not told. Media is very powerful. At the same time, throughout history we have witnessed media often keeps certain messages to themselves, and they are very careful in disseminating messages. We take much care to understand how this particular message would affect the audience, and sometimes we also understand certain messages are better to be suppressed than to be supplied to the people, because it can be harmful to the society or it can provoke violence. In that cases, we always kill the news or we suppress the content. What is the whole idea behind gatekeeping? The gatekeeper decides what message to be transmitted and what is not to be. Here, the gatekeeper's decisions are the final, and they play the key role in the social system. The gatekeepers have influence over social, cultural, ethical, and political scenarios of a country. Based on personal and social influences, gatekeepers can affect a message. Through this process, the unwanted messages are chopped off from the content. So, the gatekeeper carefully selects which message is to be given to the audience. As in the home, a mother plays a crucial role in teaching children what to speak and not to speak. In a media house, the editor plays a key role in selecting whether the news has to be provided to the public or not. There are many examples of gatekeeping theory. One of them would be most media channels have a program head or a news head who carefully makes choices. So any program producer has to first submit his content to his program head, who would edit it and finally decide which program or which news has to be taken on air. Both for print and visual media, this is a common practice, and it is also believed to be the best practice because in most times this particular practice have protected people's rights and also protected the society from violence behavior. So it has been a very long practice where we witness this has been practiced, and it has been becoming a regular practice in the society. What are the uses of these theories? What is the purpose of understanding and defining these theories? Let's go through certain theories which would make us understand this particular concept. There are 7 theories which are considered to be the major theories in mass communication area. Number 1 is agenda setting theory. Number 2 is reinforcement theory. And number 3 is theory of incidental effects. And number 4 is cultivation theory. And number 5 is silence of spiral theory. And number 6, social learning theory. And number 7 is uses and gratifications theory. What is agenda setting theory? It was first suggested by McComb and Donald Shaw in the year 1968. Both these people were able to analyze that media sets an agenda and it projects a message with a preconceived notion that almost it has been decided what the people have to think. Any message for that matter, before it is being provided to the public, the agenda has been set, a rigid agenda has been set, so that people are exposed only after it has been made available in a particular way. The next one is reinforcement theory, which suggests that it was initially suggested by Clapper, who said any concept, when it is told again and again for numerous number of times, it has an impact in the minds of people. Either it may be a powerful content or a weak content. When a content is told more than once, when we keep on telling the same content again and again, the people tend to believe it's true. And the next theory is theory of incidental effects, which states that the television could be an effective agent of learning among children. Even today, parents believe that children learn a lot through televisions and through the internet than what they learn in schools. Because today's generation, we consume a lot of visual content. So children also consume a lot of programs like cartoons, from where they learn a lot of things, including the culture, including mannerisms, and in particular, say for example, the movie, the cartoon Tom and Jerry is often perceived as a comedy genre, but it is a cartoon which has a lot of violent content, and many studies have proven this. Cultivation theory. The cultivation theory was suggested by George Gardner, and which says heavy TV viewing tends to induce audience to adopt perceptions and values, which were constantly portrayed in different programs. Say for example, if we take the Keda project that was initiated in Gujarat, the government tried to persuade or try to give self-confidence to the women of that area by providing them television sets and engaging them in programs that was organized and projected through the Doordarshan. So in this program, the women were shown serials that showed how women equality is very important, how women has to feel empowered, and how to deal with problems in their life, and also about the economic and social equality of women. This program proved to be very powerful because after this program has been launched and since its inception, women started empowering themselves through their thoughts. By regularly watching these programs, once when we confirm that they are eligible to be launched in the society. Then they were given new programs of cottage industries where they easily adopted to different technologies, and they learned how to make money, how to market, and even how to indulge in sales. And this provided a great change in that particular locality. And further, more projects like how to connect the rural economy with the urban ones, like how to provide a business opportunity for people in the rural areas. So many such projects have been proven that we can cultivate a thought and we can change the lives of people. And the next theory is the third person effect. This was proposed by W. Phillips Davison. And the hypothesis suggests that people tend to overestimate the impact of mass media on others rather than themselves. Which means people often see others are affected, and most probably they are not in a stage to understand that we themselves are affected by media to a greater extent. Since we are consuming media from the day we are born, it's very difficult for to understand that there is a alternative life. Only those generations who have come across from radio to television to the internet, they can easily identify what sort of changes that the whole media industry has gone through. And the last one is social learning theory and uses and gratifications theory. The social learning theory is proposed by Albert Bandura, and many effects of mass media can happen through the process of social learning. Human beings learn things by observation and model behaviors. That is how the whole system of stardom has come into existence. People have always looked for characters in the movies and cartoons and in the serials as their role models, and they tend to live in a particular way how those characters live on screen. So this has evolved as a theory how far television characters can affect the lives of people. And finally, the uses and gratification theory. This is the most powerful theory because this actually tries to understand what are the needs of the people. When a media program is targeted towards a consumer, most probably the target audience is set. Any program before it's launched, it has to be very clear whether this program is meant for women or it is meant for children or it is for the adult or is for the housewives. So any program, even before it is being launched, the producers can understand for whom this program is produced and who the target audience is. Based on that, televisions are setting slots targeting that particular set of audience, and most probably this theory proves to be very powerful because since the whole program is made in such a way that it gratifies the needs of a particular set of people, definitely it has a powerful impact on those people because as a whole this program gratifies the needs of the people in all the levels, like cognitive needs, uh, affective needs like emotions and the aesthetic experience, the personal integrative needs like strengthening their confidence, and social integrative need like strengthening context and family, and finally the tension release needs, or it's an escape and diversion. In today's world, we experience that escaping the reality, escaping the stress of day-to-day life is it's getting tougher and tougher. So people tend to move to television to just escape from the reality of life. And this whole idea has brought this industry to such a great extent that we can't even imagine. Thank you.